Hello, everyone. Glad to see you all at the Gurtam conference. We have met each other with many of you in the previous years. Happy to see you again. At this conference, we will present you about some opportunities using Wialon API, Wialon unit grouping. And we will see how, with building relatively simple database, we have we can deliver fuel consumption reports and fleet management reports to your customers in a way that is very likely to make them happy. We will also show how we at FMPlus using Wialon API and Wialon web interface to display in real-time code chain data in a way that is easy to use and convenient for dispatchers of our customers. And basically, we have developed a fully functional TMS system using Wialon API. In this presentation, I will show you how we used Wialon API and Wialon unit grouping to create some reporting features and to lay the foundations for building a dedicated business intelligence data model that can be used by customers to slice and dice fuel consumption data and vehicle maintenance costs, and at all times to be able to break down the data by departments or other organizational units in your customer company. In our opinion, this is something that is quite appreciated by medium and large companies because it helps them a lot to create budgets for their fleets. By the way, we at FMPlus are working on creating a fully functional fleet budgeting tool that will help to build cost projection for vehicle fleets based on history of expenses and create different budgeting scenarios for the management of medium or large fleet corporations. We will also show you our module for automated ETL, extract, transform, and load the fuel data files created by gas station chains like OMV, Shell, etc. And in the end, we will show you how we use the Wialon web interface to display code chain status data for our vehicles in a way that is very convenient for dispatchers. On this side, you can see the system architecture and how we have integrated our modules with Wialon. As you can see, we have built an application database that we are using to store tracking data, fuel consumption data, all fleet management data, and all data collected from different sensors installed in the vehicles. In this case, it's a code chain data, but it could be any kind of sensors. Based on this, we have built a business intelligence data model that is regularly updated with new data collected from different data sources, like Wialon API, FLESP API, or user interface. This data model supports a rich collection of interactive dashboards that help customers analyze their cost and usage of their fleets. The data model is independent and can be deployed and hosted on a different machine, separate machine. If your smart reporting tool supports it, you can make available this dashboard on a mobile device. We have built our own web service that uses Wialon API to run queries on Wialon and collect regular new data that appears on Wialon. Well, we all know that Wialon API is very user-friendly, very well documented, and it's quite possible to develop such service. Now let's explain what is a multi-level hierarchical grouping. It's a way to logically organize the vehicles in a customer's fleet following the structure of the customer organization. So if your customer has multiple departments that own vehicles and they are further broken in sub-departments or other organization units, you will be able to represent exactly the same structure in your database. This way of structuring that follows the structure of the customer company makes all your reports very intuitive because the people working with those groups would use the same name that they use in their everyday work. Creating such multi-level grouping is not very difficult, and if you're interested, it's easy to do it. The main benefit of using multi-level hierarchical grouping that matches your custom organizational structure is that it makes your user interface and reporting very intuitive for the people working with it. Another benefit is that units in the same organizational unit usually have the same business function. For example, distributors' vehicles are one branch, marketers are the other, and so on. The third benefit is that it makes it very convenient for you to set access rights for different users that need to see different parts of the organizational tree. It's not easy to create a mechanism for importing field data that is compatible with different data formats. In FMPlus, we have invested a lot of time and effort to solve this. We have managed to solve it for the bulk of cases. The first requirement is to be able to automatically import the field data is to have an algorithm to determine the values of all important data fields for every refueling. These are vehicle ID, driver ID, refueling station, organization ID, etc., etc. The second very important part of our solution is to apply very rigorous data validation rules to the field data in order to detect problems with imported data as soon as possible. So, it's very important to find all such problems before the data is imported in the database, because if wrong field data is imported in the database, it could contaminate the whole database and it creates more problems. It's important that our field data importing mechanism allows the operator to fix issues with the data manually. This helps a lot if there are some stupid errors in the data, like wrong date or wrong field type, etc. The third part of our solution are the field data import templates. Practically every gasoline provider, every gas station chain has its own format for refueling data. Our versatile field data import template creates a logical map on how to populate the important data fields from the data file provided by a specific gasoline provider. Every gasoline provider will have its own template. Sometimes there are more than one template if data is structured in different way for different field types. In the end, as part of our importing mechanism, we are applying sanity checks that helps avoid some common problems. For example, there is logic that protects from importing the same fuel file twice, or if the dispatcher is trying to enter the wrong date or the wrong fuel type, etc. This is how you can import the fuel file in our fuel template. Like you have a name, all kinds of fields are filled like driver ID, invoice number, etc. Here you can see how live field data is being imported in FMPlus. This particular example is with data from the Bulgarian subsidiary of the OMV gas station chain. You can see the data after it has been read from the file, validated, and ready to be imported in the database. From the Wialon API, we import the tracking data. In the field data import template, there are shown all the fields which are predefined and have to be mapped to the fuel report file of the gasoline provider. On this slide, you can see a dashboard of fuel consumption reports. As you can see, the fuel data is reported by period and organizational unit. This way, your customer can do nice comparison of fuel consumption by periods of time and between different business units. Other reports can compare fuel consumption by vehicle type, vehicle model, etc. Basically, you select the parent group and you see all the reports for that group. On this slide, you can see a rich set of interactive dashboards based on the FMPlus business intelligence data model, includes fuel, fleet management, tracking, and sensors. In order for the dashboard to happen, you must have smart dashboard reporting tool. we use DefExpress, but it could be any other. Here you can see the different steps of the software design process that can lead to creating your own business intelligence data model based on the data that you're already managing for your customer and uses multi-level hierarchical grouping. As you can see, the analysis and design phase are usually straightforward, and creating such model may take up to 30-40 man days or so. That, of course, depends on the developer who is writing speed, so on. This is the second part of our presentation, where we will show you how we use the Wialon web interface to display sensor status data in real time for the dispatchers in our customer organizations. This is an example of displaying live sensor status data in real time for our customers. As you can see, the vehicles are organized in groups, and dispatchers can select the vehicle group that they are interested in. We put in or out the units of interest in different groups depending on some predetermined conditions, like if you go out or below or up temperature, range, or any other. I forgot the word, sorry. Whatever. On this slide, you can see the steps to create your own real-time sensor data using Wialon. Thank you.